Welcome back. Once again, this is Tim Stewart from Visual Decisions. If you missed the introduction, please check out the first video in this series where we give background on who we are as a company and why we're experts in driving value with Industry 4.0. In this video series, we're sharing a proven path to success with Industry 4.0. In the last video, we talked about how to use existing systems and data to get quick value with your initiative. In this video, we'll walk through some customer examples we created using the Click Business Intelligence solution. So let's dive in. At several of our customers, we've worked to create a top-down and bottom-up series of metrics to track performance. Some of the customers call this a management operating system, or MOS. Some use it as a COO dashboard for weekly cadence calls. But in all cases, the idea is to create a set of metrics that flow from the top of the organization all the way down to the shop floor. Then the data is collected at the shop floor and aggregates up to the COO. At every level and department within the organization, the KPIs for that team reflect how they can best contribute to the overall success of the business. Here's an example of what that dashboard actually looks like. This is from one of our automotive supplier customers, and this is really at the COO level. The majority of these metrics are pulled from existing systems. The rest were entered manually until an automated system could be put in place. On the left side is a quick overview of the 5 plants and the 33 KPI the COO manages or uses to measure overall plant success. The metrics are organized into SQDCIM categories: safety, quality, delivery, cost, inventory, and manpower. In the upper right, we see the details behind the metrics, the target value and the actual value. The bottom of the page shows the real key to the whole process. This is where the root causes for each miss are tracked, as well as the corrective actions for each miss. This allows a very fast conversation between the COO and his plant managers, where exceptions can be identified very quickly, along with the explanation and what is being done to address the issue. This creates a culture of accountability where every miss has to be accounted for and a plan put in place to make things better. There are additional pages in the application to show trending, analyze where are the trade-offs in performance, and many other things. This is an example from the bakery we referenced earlier. So at this plant, they were already collecting data about downtime and material losses, but the information was going into spreadsheets and eventually into a database with no easy way to work with the information to make improvements. So in this first page of the application, we created a dashboard that the teams use in their daily meetings. From some very simple data collection, we were able to design a process where the team would be able to compare performance between the lines and shifts, identify trends, and compare performance of the current period to past periods. So we helped to design the team meeting to quickly identify where the previous shift had issues and create focus on getting those issues addressed as rapidly as possible. We looked to create a standard work to drive consistency from shift to shift and how they performed. And with this tool, we were able to measure our progress in that effort. However, we really started to make big gains when we stepped down to another level of detail. So for every instance of downtime or quality issues, we started using the existing system to track the area of the issue, the category of the problem, and the cause. Then we also got comments from the people as they entered that data. So then we trained the continuous improvement team to use the tool to identify where the plant's biggest issues were happening. After just a couple of clicks, we can start to identify those big issues. So in this example, we clicked on the biggest problem area of equipment loss, and then we clicked on the biggest category of oven. And the trend chart shows us some critical information. On most days, we have very little downtime as a result of the oven, but then we see huge spikes of downtime on a periodic basis. So we immediately know that we have a preventive maintenance issue here. After just a bit more digging in the detailed information at the bottom, we identified that the conveyor pins were failing after a certain number of cycles in the oven. And we analyzed this, how often this was failing, and put a preventive maintenance program in place to inspect and replace those pins. And we were able to completely eliminate the single biggest source of downtime in the plant after only having the system in place for a few days. And this highlights another huge advantage of utilizing existing systems in your efforts. They often include years' worth of data that can be analyzed and used for improvements. New systems necessarily start from scratch and take a lot of time to build up usable amounts of history. So creating success with Industry 4.0 does not have to mean new system implementations. That success can often be driven by creating better processes around the system that you already have in place. So without going into too much detail on the rest of these examples, we've worked with dozens of customers to better utilize the systems they already have in place. In this example, we worked with an energy company to make better use of the MES system that they were currently using to collect information on their boilers. So you can see from these run charts, the top chart shows the target line and the actual performance shown by the dots. The bottom line shows the deviation from the target, or what they call dents. As we started analyzing the variance, we quickly identified that there were particular set points in the data where that variance was occurring. And then we did a correlation analysis with many different process variables to identify the actual root cause for the dents in the performance. Then we worked with the continuous improvement team to address those issues and increase boiler efficiency. So even though your long-term roadmap may require the implementation of new systems, it's very likely that you already have the data that you can use to improve your business. You just have to unlock it and then put the process in place to use it and fix the problems that you find. So thank you for your time. And in our next video in the series, we'll start to dive into those other systems and what the art of the possible looks like with Industry 4.0. Thank you.